The first of our speakers will be Professor Cheng Enfu, who can't be here today, and his speech will be presented by Dr. Zhishu Liu, who works at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. Let me briefly introduce Professor Cheng. Professor Cheng is an academician at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, director of the Research Center for Economic and Social Development, principal professor at the University of the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, president of the World Association for Political Economy, president of the Chinese Society for Foreign Economic Theories, and a member of the People's Congress of China. So Dr. Liu will now present Professor Cheng's speech.
Hello, everyone. Today, the title of my presentation is The Essence of Capital, of Das Capital, and its Contemporary Value. The capitalist world has changed dramatically since the publication of Capital. But this work of Marx has not become obsolete. When the world faces a major dilemma or encounters a major setback, Marx always reappears in a new way. And people always look to Das Kapital to find a way out of the global problems of today. As long as capitalism and the market economy exist, capital as a work that reveals its mysteries and economic laws is unlikely to leave the stage. As a Marxist encyclopedia, the methodology and the principles contained in Capital still shine with the light of truth and practical significance. First, Capital provides a scientific approach to understanding societies. In Capital, Marx organically integrates philosophy with economics, applies dialectics to the study of political economy, and has historical materialism and dialectics highly unified in the analysis of the evolution of the life and death of the capitalist market economy. Capital is mainly a study of the economic mode of capitalist society. Marx regarded the development of society as the result of contradictory movements and believed that the law of contradictory movements of the productive forces and the relations of production, as well as that of the economic base and superstructure, is the general law of development of human society and its fundamental driving force. It determines the change of social formation and the basic trend of historical development. Marx analyzed the operation and development of capitalist economy by applying the law of unity of opposites, the law of qualitative and quantitative changes, and the law of the negation of the negation, as well as methodologies such as class analysis. He studied the process of capitalist social and economic development by applying the scientific findings of historical materialism and came to the scientific conclusion that capitalist system is not eternal, but is bound to be replaced as the contradiction between the productive forces and the relations of production evolves. To date, there is no theory in mainstream Western economics that is comparable to Capital in terms of understanding the reality and development of the contemporary world. I recently edited a textbook titled New Political Economy. The English version of it will be published soon. It is a synthesis of Marx's Das Kapital and his planned 6 volumes on political economy, creating a new system of 5 processes in modern political economy. I wish that this textbook may be available to you in some way, since your comments and suggestions would be very valuable. Second, in Das Kapital, Marx establishes the subject status of workers. Labor theory is at the core of Capital, and is a line running through historical materialism, political economy, and scientific socialism, which is of great significance to the world today in terms of firmly establishing the subject position of workers in the creation of wealth and value. Marx once pointed out that as long as society does not yet revolve around labor as the earth around the sun, it can never reach a state of equilibrium. Marx's comparison of labor to the sun is sufficient for us to see the position of labor in his thought. Labor is the core of the Marxist paradigm and system. Not only does labor determine and condition the structure, nature, and appearance of a society, but the labor conditions will determine the conditions of human development. Marx presents the labor theory of value in Capital, arguing that living labor is the only source of value creation, making it the cornerstone of the theory of surplus value, and on that basis proposed the idea of labor emancipation. Even under the increasingly mature digital economy today, intelligent economy, and other high-tech conditions, as long as it is in a capitalist society or in a capitalist enterprise in a socialist country centering on private capital, labor would still be characteristic of the dependence on things. Workers be enslaved by private capital, and various forms of alienation persist. In future society, where the factors of production are publicly owned, labor will become the sun. That is, labor will be completely liberated, thus truly realizing the free and comprehensive development of human beings. We must always stand in the position of international working people, establish a view in our value system that respects labor and workers, insist on the subject position of workers in social development and wealth creation, and refute the absurd statement of exploitation creates wealth that has been so long popular among people. Third, in Capital, it clarifies the contradictory movement of capital. The theory on capital as a key term in Marx's works is one of the three main categories throughout the book, that is labor, capital, and surplus value, and is of great importance to our understanding of the nature and the role of capital in the context of globalization. Capital is a product of a certain stage of human history. It is a historical category. Capital is a factor of production, a value that can bring surplus value. Capital in essence is not a thing, but a certain social and economic relationship, which in turn must be manifested through things. This gives rise to a double logic, a logic of creating material and economic civilization by the power of things, and a logic of value added with pursuit of profit maximization. From private capital to private monopoly capital, national monopoly capital, and then to international monopoly capital, the expansionist nature of capital keeps driving forward the process of economic globalization, which constantly intensifies the globalization of production, trade, finance, and business operation with an ever more greedy capital today that is based on private appropriation and characterized by virtual capital. The unlimited expansion of such capital has led to the intensification of the basic contradictions of capitalism in all countries and the whole world, with widening gap between rich and poor in wealth and income distribution within and between countries, leading to increasingly serious global problems. Under the conditions of China's socialist market economy, while attaching importance to the role of public capital, we must pay close attention to overcoming the greedy nature and the disorderly expansion and monopoly of non-public capital. The relationship between capital and labor as social axis must be well handled, and making various forms of capital better serve the national economy and people's livelihood. Fourth, in capital, it reveals the laws of development of market economy. In capital, Marx has scientifically explained many economic laws of human society, such as the general law of commodity production, the common law of socialized mass production, the law of economic globalization, and the world market. The laws of capitalist economic operation are systematically analyzed, which covers wage, cost, profit, credit, interest, land rent, reproduction, virtual capital, and virtual economy, economic cycle, and crisis. All these provide guidance for a correct understanding of the laws operation of socialist market economy. Fifth, Marx's ideas in capital must be applied in a flexible manner in practice. At present, we must resolutely oppose private monopoly capital, international financial monopoly capitalism, and neoliberalism, and neo-imperialism. Work together to actively safeguard the rights and welfare of the working class and the working people at large. Resist the US-led West's efforts to contain the peaceful development of China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and Syria, etc., and bring into better play the economic role of progressive third world countries such as China. Today, China has become a major trading partner of more than 140 countries and regions, ranking first in the world in total trade in goods and leading the world in attracting foreign investment and outbound investment. Between 2012 and 2021, China's gross domestic product grew from 54 trillion yuan to 114.9 trillion yuan, accounting for 18.5% of the world economy and firmly ranking second in the world. In 2021, China's total GDP at market exchange rates reaches $17.8 trillion, equivalent to 77% of the US GDP. Between 2013 and 2021, China's average contribution to total global economic growth reaches 38.6%, more than the combined contribution of the G7 members. China has signed more than 200 cooperation documents with 151 countries and 32 international organizations to build the Belt and the Road. The Belt and Road Initiative will lift 7.6 million people out of extreme poverty, increase global trade by 1.7 to 6.2%, and increase global income by 0.7% to 2.9%. Currently, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank has grown from 57 founding members to 106 members from 6 continents, making it the second largest international multilateral development institution in the world. The above achievements have been made through the dominant role of China's state-owned capital, collective capital, and equity-based cooperative capital. In light of that, I would argue, as in an already published paper of mine, that China has got rid of its dependent and semi-dependent position in the world economic system. It is now in a quasi-center position and will reach the center by 2035. By 2050, it will achieve a status of one of the top countries in the center, completing the 3 major tasks of China, i.e. Chinese modernization, reunification of the mainland and Taiwan of China, and international anti-hegemonic struggle. That's all I want to say here today. Thank you.
I'm Michael Hudson. I'm appearing here for the International Manifesto Group. If you like this video and ones like it, please subscribe. For more information, go to the address on the screen.